What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, a.k.a. 1/3 of the New Day. You're not going to say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside...
There's nobody fiercer than Jem the Piercer.
That is correct. This is our WWE in review show where we talk about SmackDown and Raw and all the storylines that come with it. It comes at you every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to facebook.com/group/the pop cultures, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are in that down below area. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/the pop cultures, where you can watch us record this show live and have a good old chat with us. It's good times. If you want to support the show, you can by sharing that wrestling conversation. Tell your friends, tell your family about this little wrestling pod. You can also support us financially at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And of course, our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit without logos on it. Now, Jem, before we get into the show today, we'll do a little bit of serious chats. I do want to address what's happening around the world right now in regards to the current climate with the Black Lives Matter movement. Personally, so this is going to sound like a loaded sentence, but I have a conflict with it. And the conflict is, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. It's a weird line of, I don't know how to help. Because, of course, I know this means nothing from a nobody who has a brand that nobody really cares about. But we are incredibly supportive of that movement and the people involved with it. We are very strong on the stance of fuck racism, fuck all that shit. We ain't got time for that.
100%.
So like we want to get it out there. Like we know it's tough and it feels really weird to not talk about it, but it's just that weird line of, as a white dude, like I just don't know how I can help that conversation apart from sharing links, and like all that sort of stuff, because it's that weird line. I haven't done the social media black pictures and stuff because
that's stupid. I think that's the dumbest.
It feels disingenuous, and when I'm seeing statements from companies, including the WWE, I can't do that because it seems gross and it seems It's really not the right thing. It's coming from the right place, but it's the wrong thing to be doing. Yeah.
The last thing we want to be doing is blacking out because that's silencing.
Exactly.
Share links, share videos, get it out there. Get the faces of, people brutalizing people at protests, like police officers specifically brutalizing people at protests. Share those videos, share that vision, because if we don't, then no change is going to happen.
That's right. Like this is like shit like this has been going on for fucking way too long, and it is about time for it to all be sorted. And it is disappointing that it had to head into violence, but if that gets the message heard, then that's what needs to be done. And
just remember that it's going on in our own backyard as well.
That's right.
Australian black people are suffering. They are more likely to be imprisoned. They are more likely to be killed in imprisonment. There was, in Brisbane, First Nation supporters put up 433 candles in the shape of the words, "I can't breathe," in solidarity for our own Australian black folk who are being killed in custody. And being mistreated and stuff like that as well. And there's plenty of links going around, and I've been sharing quite a bit on Twitter. Please just don't forget our own backyard as well.
But so as we said, like it's very difficult for both Jem and I as, white people to really have a stance. However, we just wanted to make sure that was addressed, where we stand. We stand with them, whether it be internationally, whether it be locally, supporting our Indigenous or the African Americans or whoever, anywhere, whether it be Maoris in New Zealand and everyone.
Anyone who's not a white privileged, person.
That's right. Big time.
White, cishet.
Oh, and of course, it's Pride Month as well. Fuck yeah to all our Pride people. Just saying.
Yeah.
All our LGBT community. You know.
Yep, I proudly identify as a bisexual. So
yeah.
Happy Pride Month, everyone!
Shout out to all you folk.
Yeah,
once again,
hopefully.
I'm like a boring white straight dude. I got fucking nothing. But shout out to them. We of course.
It appreciates how attractive men in skimpy little underwear fighting each other can be.
Yeah, look, if anything, I'm just like one day away from bi-curious, is what I'm saying. Just like, when the lion's hungry, he'll eat. That's kind of where it's going.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, Jem, you and I haven't sat down and done this show in a little bit of time. We both have had some sort of things pop up here and there, and we haven't really been able to cross the lines. But Jem, how have you been the last week or so, 2 weeks?
Yeah, a lot has gone on. But overall, I think I'm in the best place I can be. I'm getting on. You can probably barely see him, but there's a little black figure just here. This is my son. I have a baby. That's my shadow. So I got him on Wednesday last week. So he's only he's 9 months old, but he's a week in my little family, and I love him, and he's cute, and he's joining. But no, look, a lot's going on. I've said a few bits and pieces on Twitter if anybody's seen. But other than that, like, I think I'm getting there, man. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm doing all right.
Shrinking.
Shrinking. So, I haven't done a little while here. So my Ryan Get Less Fat update. I am now 15 and a half kilos down from last time I weighed myself, which was this morning. So it's 15 and a half kilos, which is
awesome.
Insane.
That's awesome.
It's
so proud of you.
It's a lot. Thank you. Additionally, to keep it wrestling related.
Yes.
So I'm at this. I feel like I'm at this next point in my weight loss journey. So I'm like, well, I need to do something else. Like, I'm doing a lot of walking. I'm obviously eating better and doing the man shake and stuff like that. So I was like, well, what could I do next? Now, a newly internet friend of mine, That Fat Guy, is a gentleman on YouTube who's also sharing his weight loss journey through a daily vlog. Absolutely exceptional human being. His name's Ash. Go check him out on YouTube as well. Be sure to follow him. He has recently, I recently did a show on here. He has an interview series called Fat Chat. So I did a show with him, which was great. That was about 2 weeks ago. So that was very cool. And then additionally, he was talking to a buddy of his who does DDP yoga. So Diamond Dallas Page yoga. I'm like, oh, I've been wanting to do that for a while. That's caught my interest. I was like, well, the hook for me is the wrestling. I'm like, DDPs, I'm like, bam. And then now that I'm trying to do something better, I was like, well, let's get in on this as well. Let's jump on this. So for the last 2 days, I have been doing in the morning. So I get up at like 6 because I'm a little bit earlier than I would normally get up. Do a half hour or whichever video I decide to choose for the morning of Diamond Dallas Page yoga. That's the plan. I'll be doing that probably most days where I can. And it's cool. It's fun because it's the way it's delivered isn't like your standardly. It is very standard in typical fitness videos, but he's renamed a lot of the wrestling the yoga moves into wrestling moves, or sort of combined them in some way. So an example would be when he's lying on your back and you're like sort of breathing in. It's not rest or position or whatever it is. It's called the pinfall, which I love. I love it, which is great. The warrior pose, that's where you stand forward and you put both your arms out. It's not the warrior pose.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate warrior pose.
I love that.
And then of course you know that's pretty much standard yoga Tai Chi sort of move. You know that sort of like pushing forward. No, you bring it together, and that's your diamond cutter right there.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
love that.
And then of course that swings into this big sort of like Hulk Hogan arm thing. It's
I love it.
Fucking funny. I love it, and it's just that right amount of hook to make it fun. But yeah, so I'm a little bit sore today because I've never ever done physical, like an intentional workout because I've never done it before. So like my body is about to get shaken the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
And it has. So my thighs killing me. Like not like super painful, like unbearably painful, but enough to be like, oh, when you stand up, you know, it's like, oh shit. Yeah. Not like my pec muscles, which I didn't even know I had. They're a bit owies as well.
I bet.
But other than that, it's good shit, man. Get on that DDP yokes.
Yeah, I think I might have to.
And it's fun. He has a complete deep, like, you know, in terms of the videos, there's one for like fat burning, there's one for like being energized, and there's one just straight up for your butt. That's it. It's all for the butt.
Yeah.
You know,
love it.
If I want to get that tight tuchus,
yeah,
do that one. But what I love about it as well, and sort of what incentivized me to give it a burl, as well as like recommend it to Craig, a good friend Craig from the Mullet Show. He's on the journey as well. Yes. Because it actually has there are 4 levels. So there's your intermediate and there's your experts. Obviously that's for your harder ones. But then there's also like a beginner, like I think there's like a beginner and a medium pretty much. Yeah. Which is for people that can't get out of bed easily. Yeah. So you can do a lot. You do a lot of yoga and stretching, getting it started in bed. And then the next one is sort of if you need assistance. So it's how to do these complete yoga setups with a chair, whether using a chair for leverage or sitting on the chair. It's awesome because, you know, it's like good friend Craig. He's like what, you know, he's close, probably pushing 180. That's down from over 200. So like, even though he's losing weight, he's still got that it's, you know, hard, it's going to be still hard, and plus because he's a bit older as well. However, if he jumps on this yoga train with me, there's a way we can still do it together. It's awesome.
Yes, that's awesome.
But yeah, shout out DDP and DDP Yoga, because I'm hoping that it's just going to change everything.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I'm hoping that it sort of like brings that next wave of weight loss for me.
So exciting! Fingers crossed for you. It's
Fingers
such an
crossed.
exciting journey.
As I said, so I can't remember the last time I put this much effort into losing weight. But anyway, because I was thinking about it today, actually, Jem, to keep it wrestling related. I was like, wonder what happens if I lose a fuck ton of weight. And you know, by then restrictions should hopefully be sorted and it's a bit quieter. And I'm like, well, what about that local wrestling promotion's getting up to? Maybe I can like go take a bump and just blow apart. Yeah. You know, just sort of add that next step. You know, like maybe. Sort of go like do a training or something.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Do it for the video. Do it for the pod. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly it.
Anyway, speaking of the pod, we should probably get into it now because we've been talking for like 45 minutes just catching up.
Yeah.
And the dash in the chat says, Big Daddy Betson. Dude. That's it, right? Big Daddy Betson coming in the party. Not so Big Daddy Betson. That's true. We'll have to change that.
It'll be just not so Big Daddy Betson's better.
I do like.
I was going to say it'd just be Daddy Betson, but I prefer not.
That sounds way sexier.
It really does.
Which is not a bad thing, of course.
Yeah, exactly it. It's not about the size; it's how you use it.
Good friend of the show, Buddy Watson, also agrees because that would be cool.
Yes.
I just want to do it for the video. Like I said, even if it's just for videos, that'd be a laugh. It'd be an absolute laugh.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because one of those things, we'll get into the show in just a second. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Mm-hmm. But like, speaking of like, for when we did that thing, one thing last year, Jim, I don't know whether you remember where we met Kofi Kingston that one time.
I remember that.
Cool.
No big deal.
So when I was editing this video, because not this video specifically, but I'll probably do it when I do edit this. I saw that photo, like the video, and I'm like, man, I was fucking fat. Like, cause I didn't really realize. And you look at that video, I'm like, damn,
crazy.
That was like October of last year. It's absolutely crazy. Anyways, podcast time. As we said at the start of the show, this is the show where we break down the storylines and what's going on in the WWE. We do talk about the wrestling itself, of course, but we do focus very heavily on the storylines and the characters that go around it. So, Jem, we will we'll do our very, very best to not go beat for beat when it comes to what's happening in the wrestling business. But let's kick things off with La SmackDown.
Yeah, freaking cool way to open the show.
Yeah, so sort of as a continuation of what we're seeing between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy, this sort of escalated this week with the show opening with a hit and run, with Elias being the victim here. So it's the camera crew have come in post-accident. Elias is being hauled onto a stretcher, being taken away in a bambulance. We see a car that's on the curb, and a conveniently like 3/4 full bottle of Jack wrapped in duct tape, so you don't see the label. I'm glad they did that first, because if I'm gonna drink and drive, I want to make sure I'm not promoting brands I shouldn't. Yeah, and it turns out it's the rental car for Jeff Hardy. They search the area and they find Jeff all battered, bruised, and smelling of booze in the back there. And of course, he gets arrested. Pardon?
I was going to say, for those who don't know, Jeff Hardy has a history with alcohol abuse and drug abuse and stuff like that.
That's going to be my straight up next point. So yeah, he gets handcuffed, taken away. Now, Jem, as I said, someone that's a big Hardys fan and following them forever and ever, and that includes the in-ring and out-ring turmoil. Yes. How did you feel about seeing this being used within SmackDown?
I think it was a great ploy, because immediately, obviously, Jeff has been talking so much about how straight he's gotten and stuff like that. You could tell it was a setup. You could tell. It was like, you knew. I just knew it was a setup, but there was no way in hell that was going to happen, which I think made it more interesting, because it's obviously like both Elias and Jeff Hardy were in the finals for the Intercontinental Championship, was it?
Yeah, so they were in...
they were supposed to be facing each other.
Yes, because that was one of the early pairing to head in.
Yeah. So I could tell immediately it was a setup, because obviously Elias gets carted away. Jeff Hardy gets taken in the ambulance. Caleb Braxton's there with Braun Strowman, who apparently saw some of it happen, but not all of it. He just saw somebody running away in black. Renee Young's there interviewing people. There's some trainers there as well, trying not to get Jeff arrested, but they can't stop it. And then it brings us into the backstage area, and one of the trainers is talking to everybody. And they're like, look, I've been informed that Elias is unable to compete because of his condition. So obviously we're going to have to replace him, and we're going to have to, and Jeff Hardy's been arrested as well. And Sheamus is like, oh, of course he has. And when Sheamus said that, I was like, what's the better with Sheamus?
Well, that was going to be my point. So I was going to also add to that. So like because for the little bit of time that we've been away, there have been this building of this feud between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy, where Sheamus having a lot of issue towards Jeff in the idea. I presume it's because upon his return, the spotlight was kind of taken away from Sheamus with the return of Jeff, and Sheamus has been really focusing his anger and his frustration towards Jeff and Michael Cole, oddly enough, which...
Yeah, he keeps talking to Michael Cole, and he does. Sheamus is in a match later in the night.
Well, we'll focus on storylines and characters, so we'll go with that specifically. So they do have they announced, as Jem was alluding to, that there needs to be someone to replace that match. So rather than just giving it away, AJ Styles chooses to have a week off. He's like, I don't care. I'm in the finals. I'll take the bye.
Yeah, I'm taking my free ride.
Yep. So then they're like, well, let's have a battle royal, and that will determine the winner. So whoever the winner is will take on Daniel Bryan to have the opportunity to go into the finals against AJ Styles.
Because Daniel Bryan's willing to fight, because that's what Daniel Bryan does. Yep. He thinks it's only fair that everybody else gets another chance as well. And AJ Styles is just like, you're an idiot. And I kind of agree with AJ Styles. I'm not going to lie. I'd take the free ride too.
I would agree. If you give me the option, I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll
exactly
right. I'll move into the next week. I don't mind.
Yep. That's fine, but yeah.
So in terms of that match, we did see a couple other things. We see old Shorty G, Chad Gable eliminate both Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, which plays into something a little bit later. As well as we see
Cesaro eliminate Shorty G while the refs are distracted by Shinsuke, so he didn't actually properly get eliminated.
We saw one of the Usos get in there and have a go, and we haven't seen him in a little while. Turns out, so Jimmy's injured.
Yep. So Jay's still there. It was 10-man over the top rope battle royale. It was actually really freaking cool. It was a really cool way to start the show. Cesaro threw out 3 people looking like an absolute machine. It was really cool. But in the end, it did come down to Sheamus and the Uso. Yes,
I believe so. Yes.
Yes, and Sheamus got this vicious broad kick on the apron, which just knocked Uso off the apron, and Sheamus did get the win. And he does walk over to Michael Cole, who's talking about Jeff Hardy, and he's like, oh no, they're talking about Matt Riddle. And he's like, always talking about other people. That's okay. You don't need to talk about me because I get results. Interesting.
Yeah, so which of course then led to the main event. As I said, once again, we're going all out of order here. This led to the main event of the night, which was Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan for the shot at the finals.
Killer match.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. But of course, it did end with Daniel Bryan getting the win. Awesome. Which was great. We kind of expected this was at the hands of a distraction from Jeff Hardy, who returns at the end of the night, flying knee into Sheamus's face. He's out. 1, 2, 3. Bryan gets the win. Kind of what I expected to be the result. Having someone compete in a battle royal and then have a match again that night, I'm like, it's been near impossible for them to get the win here. Regardless of even how Sheamus as an example, even how strong he believes he is, it is that difficulty of how are you going to do those two high intensity matches? But then Jeff comes in, does get the bus on, and so it looks as if Jeff may have been released. I presume that they would have done a breatho, seeing that he in fact wasn't intoxicated. This is all presumed, of course. This wasn't. And released him, and then he comes back to kick the shit out of Sheamus.
Which obviously makes us leads us to believe that Sheamus is to blame for what happened earlier in the night. For a moment there, I thought it may have been on King Corbin, but no, it's definitely Sheamus. But you say that he couldn't win because of the whole 2 matches in one night thing, but. From an assumption, but he had the motivation behind him, because if he had won that match and gone on to win the Intercontinental Championship, he would have been WWE's first Ultimate Grand Slam champion.
So he's won pretty much everything.
Yeah, exactly right. Another cool thing with that match was watching Cesaro and Sheamus team up for a little bit.
Yeah, we had a bit of a punch, we had almost a little bit of a bar, which was nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. But that's honestly, I'm kind of loving this feud. I love that they're digging into Jeff Hardy's past like that. It's just really good long-term storytelling. It brings it all around. And having the crowd there, That's
right. We should mention that within the last 2 weeks, they have taken they've straight up stolen from AEW, which is fine because it fucking works at AEW. So why not take it? They have filled the crowd area with NXT Performance Center wrestlers, some NXT wrestlers. They are there behind plexiglass, which is fucking weird.
I think it's cool because when they're walking down the aisle and everything's shining on the plexiglass, it looks like a really cool entryway.
I think it looks kind of dumb personally, but I understand why it's there for a protection point, but I also think it's a little bit unnecessary. It's a little bit too much. When you look at the likes of AEW who aren't using that and they don't need to use that, they're just ensuring safe distancing, and once again, kayfabe removed. The idea that they have, it does look like hockey, I guess, but they are 100% measured out exactly to 1.5 meters. They are told you stay there and you do not move. You stay there.
Yeah.
And like you can,
And they do.
And then because so they're there, they stand there exactly there, they don't move the whole night, and they just look in that general direction. Additionally, comparative to AEW, they feel as almost if they have someone in their ear being like, "You better applaud, you better do the yes chant right now. Okay, this person's coming out, they're a heel, therefore you should boo them." Because it is one of those weird things. Like what makes AEW's delivery better is because you have that line down the middle, and you're like, these persons, this side is the heels, this side is the faces. Like, you're gonna gauge their response, and because you know who they are, there's additional character there. Yeah. Like, granted, we're seeing some faces that we know. Like, we see an example, like Indy Hartwell's in there a lot of the time. Yes. You know, and sort of other performance center individuals, but it's just like, okay. But then again, every crowd has people you don't know in it, so I don't know what I'm complaining about.
Yeah, exactly it. No, I think it's really good because it really brings up, like, even though it's a little bit, some's better than none, and it really brings atmosphere back in. And the superstars are starting to play to those reactions again, and it's really giving us a feel for some normalcy. And it feels really good. And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, like I do enjoy I do enjoy the addition. The noise does help because, you know, like across the board, like as a lot of sports are returning. That includes like NRL as an example. They're pumping in crowd noise and stuff. It's you know, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, exactly right.
But yeah, so I do see this feud continuing. I would have liked if say Sheamus had got into the finals and would come out the champion. I think that would add some additional heat to it. I would like, so then Jeff would not just be chasing Sheamus, he'd also be chasing the title. You know, upon previous discussions from the likes of Dirt Sheet Dash, that they were looking at Jeff to be in the running for the Universal Championship. I'm like, okay, well, what happened there? Apparently, that's Dunsky's. It's over here now. Mm-hmm. So that would have been a good way. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So one thing we mentioned during that was Shorty G, Chad Gable, getting up in some business with Shinsuke and Cesaro. They did have a match here. However,
there's a little backstage discussion first with Shorty G cracking the shits about not legitimately being cancelled. And he's like, thrown out. And he's like, I don't care if I lost legitimately, but I didn't. You stole that from me. And Cesaro's like, look, I'm going to give you one chance to be the bigger man and walk away. Otherwise, you're going to have to face me in the ring. And Shorty elbows him and he goes, challenge accepted. Then we have our match. Yeah,
so it's disappointing that they've gone down the height route again. It's just like they've just essentially gone back to the well of, you know, boring, I guess. You know, that's what WWE do. They go back to what they know works, quote unquote. I don't see this being any longer than today, so I don't really feel we need to dive in it too much. It seems to be a bit of a filler.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun. Another thing that was a little bit of filler was a Forgotten Sons promo. I mean, that's all well and good, but I'd rather see them doing something.
The interesting thing is we have seen them do something this week. We saw Jackson Riker make a series of tweets supporting Donald Trump. And then, of course, a bunch of other wrestlers proceeded to jump the fuck on him, including Kevin Owens. So, shout out to Kevin Owens.
Yeah, shout out, Kevin.
Yeah, I was already not a big fan, but there you go.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had a little video segment of R-Truth calling out Rob Gronkowski about the 24-hour... Rob Gronkowski about the 24/7 championship. Talking about how he's going to get his baby back, and then Gronk has something to say to him, and then Gronk's doing TikTok dances, and R-Truth wins the title back, and it doesn't fucking matter. It's as about forgotten as Forgotten Sons.
That's right. Well, we have come to learn this week that the Gronk has been released from his WWE contract, presumably because he's about to return to playing football with the Bucks. Not the Young Bucks, but the Bucks. The Buckeyes. Not Buckeyes. Who is it? No.
And my bad, I got ahead of myself. I'm pretty sure that was on Raw.
Pretty sure that was on Raw, but it's might as well pointed out. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's all a hot mess. It's all combined.
Well, the 24/7 championship goes across everything, doesn't it?
That it does. Let's continue. So Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross were having a moment of bliss with the New Day. Yeah, okay, so this seems to be a continuation of Sasha Banks' story and focus here. So her and Sasha appear to have their eyes on those tag team belts again.
They do.
So, yeah, the whole conversation was just around them wanting those titles. There was a match between, hey, Noob and Co., what's up, man? So there seems to be this ongoing thread between that. Jem, how are you thinking about Sasha and Bayley right now? And how do you think they're going to go with getting involved on this tag team championship?
I think they're going to fall apart before they get a chance to do it. Because we do see Bayley throw Sasha under the bus shortly after this. Anyway, I don't really want to see it. Honestly, I think Alexa and Nikki have something good going with the Iconics at the moment. And I kind of want to see the Iconics hold the belts again.
Agreed. So, and we know our good friend Josh Robinson would be more than excited to see the Iconics with the titles around their waist once again.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so in terms of what you said here, because we did have Bayley throw Sasha under the bus again by essentially throwing her to Alexa Bliss this week. Additionally, we saw a comment from Sasha saying that she is the leader of the SmackDown Women's roster. I'm like, well, no, shouldn't that be Bayley because she's the champion?
Yeah, exactly right. But no, Bayley's like, she'll show you how good she is. And Sasha's like, bruh, I'm not even dressed to compete. And Bayley's like, it's fine, I'll go get your shoes. And runs off out the back. And we come back from an ad break and it's match time. And I was like, well, shit. And of course, the only way Sasha got the win was because Bayley got in and distracted her. Great match, don't get me wrong. But I think the best part of this match was fucking Nikki Cross, man.
Dude, Nikki Cross is brilliant right now.
Michael Cole was laughing so hard he was crying, and like Corey Graves just couldn't take it seriously. Bayley'd be like, "Shut up, Nikki," and she'd be like,
She's up on. So during this match, we had Nikki Cross on guest commentary along with Bayley. So Nikki Cross is sitting on the desk, and standing on the desk, yelling and shouting and just verbally abusing Bayley the whole time, and just trying to be this loud, supportive character.
Every time Bayley said something, she'd be like, don't you tell me what to do. It was just
awesome.
funny as fucking shit.
I absolutely loved it.
It was perfect. One thing we didn't mention was that Alexa Bliss was having a tag team championship summit with the New Day. Didn't really go anywhere. It was all just a stand up for this.
Yeah, so the New Day sort of mentioned and talked about the Forgotten Sons for a little bit. Oh, before we jump into that, we should talk about the Mullet Show has come in with a resub, tier 1 sub for 27 months in a row. Damn. Goes 27 months to go from a pop culture t-shirt to an old man cardigan. Bam. Yeah. That's right. A lot can happen in 27 months. You know,
yes, it can.
We're getting old, thinner, and getting some cardi action on. You know, man, it's good times.
Yeah.
Big thank you, of course, to the Mullet Show for the resub there.
Thank you.
But yeah, all right, just because New Day were just there to essentially talk Forgotten Sons. But as you said, it was sort of a precursor to with what Bayley and Sasha had in mind. But speaking of precursor and women's tag teams. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose.
Oh man! So last week was back.
Hang on. Let's come back for 1 second. Noob in the chat has said the match between Alexa and Sasha, but Bayley and Nikki on commentary was annoying.
No, I thought it was great. I thought it was so much fun.
I can understand it's annoying if you're wanting to pay attention to the match more. But for us, we like to play. We like the story and the characters and stuff. And what they did there was really deliver a lot of character for Nikki Cross.
Yeah, it really did.
Dash has the little hint. Goes, there's something in the dirt sheet about Mandy and Sonya.
Oh, I'm excited.
Keep that to the end of the night.
Yeah, so Sonya Deville's cutting a promo against Lacey Evans because they've had a bit of a Twitter beef and they're going to be fighting tonight. And she's like, I've already taken out one blonde bimbo and Mandy Rose last week. It's not going to take me long to take out a second. And as she's talking, Lacey Evans just slides into the background and like just shoves her one. And it's just like, bring it on, I'll see you in the ring type thing, and walks off. And they have an absolutely killer match.
Yeah.
Sonya Deville in that Matrix-ass coat looking badass.
Dude, Sonya looks dope.
Sonya looks so fucking dope. And yeah, they had a killer match, which unfortunately ended up in a double count-out disqualification because they were outside the ring too long.
Can I just mention that throw that Sonya receives onto the announce desk? Holy shit!
I love how far Lacey's come. I love how far Sonya Deville is coming so quickly. Like, I am all about this.
It's one of those greatest things. So if we go back, like not even a year, if we go back to like back end of last year, we were just hating on Lacey Evans, like her storyline with Baron Corbin. And her like sort of that walking down the entranceway and then going back, like get the fuck away from us. It's so good that we've come to a different place. We can look back and be like, hell yeah.
She's grown so much, and I'm so like stoked on her. But yeah, absolutely killer match. But she gets back in the ring. She's like, "Come on, fight me now." And Sonya's like, "I'll fight you on my terms, Blondie," and walks away. So clearly, there's going to be more in this, and I'm excited for it actually. I reckon Sonya and Lacey is going to be a really freaking good thing. Because at the start of the match, Lacey's like, "Look, here, I'll give you a free one. I'll let you have one over me, little miss, like high school wrestling champ," and like gets down on her hands and knees, and they have like a little grapple, and it was just really freaking cool. And I want to see more of that. I really do. So yeah, I enjoyed.
Yeah, I do kind of think that will go on for a little bit longer. I think I'm not sure. I'm not seeing like long-term story in it, but I do think we'll see it a little bit more, which I like. Dash in the chat goes, "Now we hate Nia Jax." Oh, we've always hated Nia.
Oh, we've always hated Nia Jax.
I can't wait to talk about that a little bit. Yeah. But on
the subject, Sonya and Mandy. Oh my God, how good was this? I'll let you talk about it.
All right, so after being the successful winner of the Money in the Bank ladder match, Otis and Mandy had a little poolside getaway. They got fruits and peach flavored champagne. They're having a good little relaxing time. So Mandy decides that she'll have a bit of a snooze. So she leans back, put the sunnies on, has a dream, essentially a pre-sex dream about Otis and him
dipping his toes in the
water, ripping his shirt off, being like,
"Oh man," she's just like. And then all you hear is cannonball and splash.
Yeah, so they like in her little pre-sex dream, they tongue bash hard.
Oh my God, they were playing tonsil hockey and a half.
That's right.
Which I loved. I love that they're actually like properly making out and they're a couple now and they're calling each other babe and stuff like that. Like, I think it's super cute. And then, like once Mandy gets woken up by the splash of water, like Otis is like, "I didn't wake you, did I?" And she's like, "Oh, a little bit." And he's like, "I'm so sorry." And she comes walking over all sexy into the pool. And she's like, "I was having the best dream." And then they all just start making out again. And I was like,
yeah. And then they cut to an ad break. They cut to an ad break and they come back and it's just like, bam, bam. No, not really. That'd been amazing though, wouldn't it?
It wasn't Mandy and Otis. But no, and then we have your favy Kurt Angle cut a little promo talking about how it's
the legend Kurt Angle.
Back in the day, he used to run SmackDown.
We hadn't seen him in a while, and oh my God, was I so happy to see his thumb fucking head. I was like,
I know.
That's my boy.
And
he wasn't here, Jem, for just any reason. He didn't just rock up. He came with a message. He came to be the promoter, to tell you of what is coming to SmackDown. He, after refereeing his match,
his last match in NXT,
Matthew Riddle, not how I pronounce it, is coming to SmackDown. Bro.
Bro.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been listening to his theme music all day because,
It's just 90s gangster rap too. That's all it is. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm so freaking excited.
What do you think about this, Jem?
I am so fucking excited. I am so excited for Matt Riddle, and I can't wait to see. SmackDown's going to be the perfect place for him, and I agree with Kurt Angle. I reckon he could easily be the next face of SmackDown.
I think so too. Like, he has enough charm and charisma and the skills from someone that's from an ex-MMA background. Like, you can literally see him ruin a dude's face in like that Ultimate Fighter TV show. Like, he's great. I think he's absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to see him come in. And it's one of those things, like, just the pops that he has gotten, like at Rumble, or even just takeovers. Speaking of, don't everyone remember NXT In Your House coming this Monday, public holiday here in Victoria, so go watch it. Yeah, so Matt Riddle coming in, joining the party. Get excited. I'm super, super keen. Because we should mention, so Matt Riddle has had beef with two individuals on the main roster. One of them being Brock Lesnar. He's on Raw, so nothing's happening there anytime soon. But you know who's currently connected to SmackDown?
Who?
Goldberg!
Oh, no!
So we might see it. We might finally see Matt Riddle versus Goldberg. Now, Jem, before he gets to the likes of Goldberg, how do you see Matt Riddle's time when he first debuts at SmackDown, probably in the coming weeks?
Well, I think he's going to have to climbing the ladder, obviously. So I think we're going to see, possibly an involvement. I think the best person to help project him would be Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
So I feel like there needs to be some involvement with those two there, which I did forget to mention something earlier with. I have to mention now because it's the funniest fucking thing. Before Daniel Bryan and Sheamus's match, because we spoke about that, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes. So there was a backstage interview, and Sheamus was like, "Oh, what? You want something to say or something like that to Daniel Bryan?" And Daniel Bryan just shin kicks him.
just give him big on pirate kick.
Oh, yeah, big old punt to the fucking shin and just walks back without saying anything. It was the funniest thing ever. But that's why I think Daniel Bryan needs to be involved with Matt Riddle, because I reckon Daniel Bryan could help project Matt Riddle to where he needs to be.
Well, because we should mention as well, so people that Daniel Bryan has been,
yes, exciting.
So Drew Gulak, who previously had been released due to his contract not being renewed, has returned. He's struck up a new deal, and he is back, and he is still with the WWE. Fantastic. Although going out on that match a couple of weeks back would have been awesome, but to see him around is just as good.
Yeah, but yeah, I reckon he can make a great addition to that whole thing. I think there's definitely going to be something with AJ Styles there as well, because obviously, either a pair up in a friendship with Daniel Bryan or a friendly rivalry with Daniel Bryan. But I think there has to be some involvement with Baron Corbin at some point, and I definitely think he's going to have to go through AJ Styles as well. Yeah.
It's a situation. Oh, sorry. Dash just says, what? In the chat. I don't know what he's perplexed about.
What?
But, yeah, it's almost this weird situation of, every person you say, well, do you want to see him in this? I'm like, yes. Do you want to see Matt Riddle and this?
Yeah. Yes. I would literally put Matt Riddle and Lacey Evans. Yes. I want to see Matt Riddle face Lacey Evans.
Fuck yeah. Go watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, exactly it. So, I think...
the Goldberg thing. That's right. So Matt Riddle has had Twitter beef with both Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. So all I can hope is at some point he'll finally get that match against Goldberg that he's been requesting on socials. Matt Riddle, very vocal on socials, by the way. He's absolutely fantastic.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
That pretty much wraps up SmackDown for us.
Except for The Miz and John Morrison.
So we get a little bit of a footage because we did miss this last week. So Braun Strowman will be having a 2-on-1 handicap match for the Universal Championship at Backlash, which is next week, the week after, week from Monday. So 2-on-1 handicap match for the Universal Championship. Okay, Braun's gonna win. He's gonna decimate them both. Problem done.
Yep, exactly it. But yeah.
Well, so what did you think of this week's SmackDown, Jem?
I really enjoyed it, to be honest. I think it all came together really nicely. I think the storytelling was great and the crowd interaction was great. And I probably, it wasn't the greatest, but it was pretty damn freaking good. And it made me really happy. And I'd probably give it a curtain bar.
I'm in the same boat. I'm curtain a bar as well, mostly because, as you mentioned, a lot of cool storytelling. Once again, it's not like the best storytelling, but I did like where they were going with the whole Jeff Hardy Sheamus stuff.
Yep.
The Matt Riddle announcement got me really excited. Sonya Deville is this, what they're doing with her is fantastic.
Yeah.
The whole continuation and the commitment to the Mandy Rose Otis storyline is brilliant. There was a lot here that I really, really enjoyed. It was certainly not a bad thing at all for me. I enjoyed it. But of course, let us know what you think in the comments below of this week's the past episode of SmackDown as we move into Monday Night RAW.
So we've already spoken about one thing in Raw because I'm a dingus. But yeah, we obviously
we'll talk about that. So R-Truth, he calls out Rob Gronkowski. At least he finally knows who he is now, compared to just yelling at Tom Brady, completely different NFL player.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of footage. He gets rolled up in a backyard. R-Truth's now 24/7 champion again. I think he's 11, 12-time champion at this point. Cool.
Something ridiculous.
Speaking of champions, though, one thing that we didn't get to talk about last week, Apollo Crews is now your United States champion. This is his first ever championship in the WWE. He lost it over off Andrade in what was a really spectacular match, and I really enjoyed it. It was great. It was absolutely awesome. Especially after, being jerked about a couple of weeks ago prior to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, knee dicked out by Andrade and stuff like that. That retribution, that revenge, perfect. It was really cool. I was not expecting to see Apollo Crews with a belt. And honestly, I'm excited that he has it because he is an amazing superstar. I just thought they really weren't handling him well. And he's finally in a good position. And I'm super hyped. Yeah, obviously, I don't know. I'm really hyped about it.
Yeah, I'm feeling it because it's a situation where I don't know a lot about Apollo Crews because he's kind of a different time to me.
Yeah,
but
this will really open to us, I reckon, and give us a whole new guy.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to sort of really get a further understanding of who Apollo Crews is, and I think we'll see that here because he's charismatic. He's got a good vibe to him, and he looks good with that belt on him. What can I say?
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, so
fits him well.
Dash and Checkers, we'll see how long that will last. I guess that is very true. I guess it's interesting on how long he will have it, as we know that he was injured recently, and then to win the championship, who knows? It was only 2 weeks away, so who knows how injured he could still be. So he did come out with a little bit of a limp. Just saying. So he could lose that at any point. However, he did not lose it this week. He did have a match against a competitor of his choosing, and it was Kevin Owens.
K freaking O. He's I have so much respect for him. I think he's deserved it. Kaya comes out feeling like it's a pity party. Polly's no, man, this is out of respect.
After a bit of a beating he had last week,
Yeah. He's nah, this is out of respect. I really I respect you. I want you to have this. And KO's oh, I feel really bad, man, because this is going to be the shortest title reign you've had. It's your first one.
And it lasts a week, and then they busted out pretty hard. All right, match. I really enjoyed it, but it did end with an interruption from Andrade and Angel Garza.
Yeah. Sure did.
Which was great. So Dash in the chat also mentions they really want to push Andrade, and that they do. They really do want to give Andrade the rub, which I really, really like. And I do think it's out of all the possible outcomes here, I think he actually is not disadvantaged by losing the United States Championship here. I do think
it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to allow him to free that mid card up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Andrade versus Drew McIntyre for a championship probably in the upcoming months.
Especially with there was an interview with Angel Garza, and obviously Zelina just pumps her guys up so much. yeah, just the way she talks about it, like I can just see all of them going a bit further now. Like I feel like Angel Garza's coming up into that Andrade position, and Andrade's moving on to something bigger.
Correct, because we should also mention, so with the recent change of Becky Lynch leaving Raw to go be a mother, so she has essentially been cut from all promotional material, including the intro video, which I think was happening a bit rough. I thought they could still keep her around, but that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But they also removed her from the, they have like a collective of people, with the Raw logo. That has so she's been removed, and I think Asuka's in there now, and then Angel Garza's in there as well. So it looks as if they're having a lot of love for Garza, and they want to give him a little bit of a push. So are you comfortable? Are you cool with that? Yeah, she wanted to she was fucking the hell out of him.
Yeah, it should and then Zelina Vega with the rose at the end of it was real funny, just ripping it apart and giving it back. But he's smooth as shit. I can really see him just sweet talking his way through things, and he's a good wrestler.
The real question, Jem, could he sweet talk his way through you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's gorgeous and he's smooth as shit. Just rip your pants off in front of me and I'll be like, damn, Full Monty, let's go.
Yeah, I couldn't argue that. I totally agree. Especially if he does any of those dance moves that we kind of saw, because there's that look-alike. So for those who don't know, there's a band called Little Big. They're awesome. We love them. They're this great sort of Euro dance band. Jem pointed out that one of the men in their recent videos, the couple of them, looks like Angel Garza in a mustache. And I can't.
So yeah, they've got a song called Uno, which was done for Eurovision.
There's another one as well. It's Hypno Dancer. He's in that too.
And Hypno Dancer, yeah. So that suit he's wearing that says the Hatters. The Hatters is actually his band, and it's almost it's like Russian mariachi. They're amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, did anybody else notice Angel Garza's got a second like a double life? And I pointed out the thing of him, and Ryan messaged me is that real? And I was like, no, that's the point.
Because if it was, because it's one of those things I looked at, I'm like, that's fucking Angel Garza. It looks exactly like him.
But Angel has no tattoos. This guy's covered in it. That's the only difference. And I was just like, oh man, if Angel Garza had tattoos, goddamn. Otherwise, I'm moving to Russia for this guy.
Well, because that would be the next thing. So they, as we said, they do interrupt, and we do have a tag match between Apollo Crews and so Apollo Crews, Kevin Owens versus Andrade and Angel Garza. But before we get into, pardon.
I call them the Vega Collective.
Well, it is the Vega Collective. Well, let's speak about that actually, Jem. So, as you know, as we say, we talk about the storylines here. How do you see this going with Andrade? Because if Andrade is getting this bit of a push and he's going a little bit harder, presumably he's going to separate from Zelina Vega. How do we see that going? Do you think? Because we'll get to that in a little bit as well. But they've recently lost Austin Theory has his move to becoming part of Seth Rollins' disciples.
Yes, which we did discuss. That was about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So and then on top of that, we got Andrade presumably separating as well.
I don't think that's.
You don't think so?
I don't think Andrade is going to separate. I think he's going to stay with Zelina Vega, and they're going to just.
So they're just going to deviate a little bit, but still keep.
Yeah, I think they're going to stay together.
Okay.
I think, it's just pushing for championships now. So Zelina's going to start pushing Andrade towards Drew, and I reckon she's going to push Angel towards
like Apollo in the United States. Yeah.
Apollo, yeah.
Okay, no, I see it. But yeah, so they had a tag match. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I like Andrade. I like Angel. Actually, I like almost everyone in the ring. Pardon?
That's the thing. I could see them as tag champions too.
Yes.
The tag team of Andrade and Angel Garza. I think that could be something that could happen along the line as well. But I don't see them separating anytime soon. I think they're still going to stay their own little thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. But let's see. So who got?
Let's speak about tag teams.
Who got the win?
I don't remember.
Look at my notes here, and I can't see who got the win. Yeah. I remember seeing.
Apollo Crews gets his third win over Andrade.
That's right. Because I saw both Apollo and Kevin Owens standing tall. Because I was cooking dinner at the time, so I may miss a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes more sense. But speaking of tag teams, though, Jem, as you were alluding to, that's to talk about what's going on here with the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. They are doing the Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better tournament
Oh, I
championship.
love it. It's getting better.
Where they're doing little side things in order to see who's better. We saw them play
axe
basketball.
throwing.
We saw them do, yes, you're correct. We saw them do axe throwing. We saw them do golf, which then became mini golf. This week was bowling.
And I think it was the best because obviously like Viking Raiders were just dominating the start of it, and they just looked so cheesy because they had the proper like bowling shirts and bowling shoes, and it was so fun. And they were like, you know, the guys are like cheers and skull and cheers and skull and fighting over which they're supposed to say. And yeah, like the Street Profits are like losing, and they're like, yo, woman, and there's this poor old lady standing over there, and they're like, we want the smoke, and she turns on all the smoke and the lighting and stuff like that, like the party bowling, and they just absolutely dominate from there. It's just the funniest thing. Like,
yeah, like the dynamic has come really well. What side is like sort of this aggressive competition has really joined this friendly competition, and I kind of see them coming out being all best friends, which I'm not even mad about. Because like coming into this, the story was that, you know, like the Viking Raiders had to forego their championships at NXT, therefore Street Profits picked them up afterwards, and they've never really beat each other. So there's the idea of like, it's this competition that's stayed true, and I really dig it personally. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
I think it's great, and it's getting funnier and funnier every week, and it's like, for me, it's like, okay, so they've done axe throwing and basketball and golf and mini golf and bowling. Like, what's next? Are they going to play laser tag? Like,
oh my god, laser tag would be amazing.
Laser tag would be great. Like,
I want to add to it. Go lawn bowls. Maybe, maybe they'll do a little bit of like that horseshoe throwing.
Yeah, you don't know where it's going to go. A little bit of croquet. Like, it could go anywhere. And, yeah,
one week they just bust out some Aussie rules for a laugh, you know, and
water polo or something like.
Synchronized diving.
Yeah, diving, swimming, you name it, they'll do it. I think it's the greatest thing ever, and I honestly like, give me more of this because it's just some comedic relief, and it's really lightening the mood of everything going on, and it's just great. It's
so
great.
Dash in the chat agrees. He also loved it, which is awesome, and I completely agree. I thought it was great. It's really taking advantage of the charm and charisma that the Street Profits have, and what no one was really aware the Viking Raiders had. You know, they are bouncing off each other incredibly well, and it's a really good, light-hearted vibe. Everyone, like all parties involved, seem to be really enjoying it. Additionally, like it was great. I thought it was awesome, and like even down to like literally Eric bowling Ivar down the lane. Like that was stupid, but it was comedically edited. Like it felt very like Naked Gunny and like just some of this stupid. You know, and and what I love is every time they cut back to that old woman at the bar, it's the exact same footage from before, and it's just her doing shifty eye. So every they got that shot once, and they just put it in like 18 times. I fucking loved it. It's a small little detail that I really touched upon, and I'm enjoying this new change in Ivar being able to find turkey legs fucking anywhere. He pulled out of like a mini golf hole last week, and he's just going into fridges and shit and just finding stuff. I really like it. So I believe they're tied 2-2 now. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that's probably going to be the case. It's probably going to be 1 for 1 for 1 for 1 for a little while.
Yeah, I love it. It's going to be a big old stamp.
We're due approaching 5.
I don't think... Oh, are they doing best of 5?
I'm just saying they're approaching 5. 5's a good number, so...
I have a funny feeling that it's a case of like, well, if they're on, there must be one more that's going to be the decider, or if they just keep going, it would be really cool to just see these guys like stalemate forever.
I think that's, I kind of see like maybe it is to 5 and this is the final one, and they end up drawing at the end or something. But like, what if it's like a triathlon or something? They'd sort of have to do like something extra.
Yeah. Just to like, I think it's really cool to have them at a stalemate because it shows that even though they're so like different, they're so evenly matched. And I think that that's something there, and I think they could really do this properly. Like, just feed me more. It's going great. Let's
it is absolutely fantastic. I love it a lot. Speaking of absolutely fantastic and tag teams, let's jump onto the Iconics.
I know.
Run with the gem. You give us some Iconics.
Wait, there was no Iconics.
Yeah, they were. Weren't they there?
I missed it.
Oh.
I missed the Iconics. What did I miss?
They had a match.
Oh, who'd they have a match against?
Alexa and Nikki, I think.
Did they?
Maybe a replay. I fucked if I know.
I don't remember because I know that.
Well, we didn't talk about it last week either. So yeah, the Iconics, they've got their eyes on the tag team championship because we didn't do a show last week. We touch about it now. They made the return. Very exciting. Very, very cool. They got a win over Alexa and Nikki there. I'm pretty sure they did it here again, but I cannot verify it because my memory is garbage.
We have a.
But yeah, so how are you with the return?
I'm excited. I really like the Iconics. I really like the Iconics. And yeah, no, they were on last week. They went on this week.
My mistake.
No, I'm excited. And like I said for the SmackDown, like just before on SmackDown's review, I think that they should have the title.
No, they totally did.
Did they?
Yeah, it was Billie Kay versus Nikki Cross.
Okay, I've missed it then.
Yeah, so they had a confrontation backstage before walking into the ring. That's right, because they were just abusing each other at the back. Yeah, and eventually it did end with a... let's see, what does it say? A missed crossbody off the top open cross up to a Uranagi into a powerbomb from Kay, and it was big, powerbomb end.
Yeah. Yeah,
cool.
I didn't see
Once
that
again,
one.
so this is 2 wins
to the Iconics.
To the Iconics. Are we going to see Backlash championship opportunity?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think they're entitled to it. They've bet, like, as individuals, they've bet champions. I think they're entitled to it.
Oh, and they bet them as a team too.
Yes. Oh, they did too. Yeah, that first week they came back. I definitely think that they should be in that championship picture. I'm so sorry I missed that.
Yeah, that's right. And if they even show the highlight video of them winning at WrestleMania last year, sort of a reminder that they should be the ones holding the championships. Just saying.
Yeah, I definitely see it going back to the Iconics. I think they were like perfect for it.
I do. I think even though that they were those bit of those like chicken shitty sort of.
But that's what makes them great.
Like I think they defended it once.
Yeah, it's like the whole Eddie Guerrero, how he used to always get wins by lying, cheating, and stealing, throwing a chair and then dropping himself and little things like that. Like, I love it because it really does give that nod to, like, Eddie Guerrero, because he used to do that, like, cheat shit win stuff. I think it's fun because you don't see the girls do it that much the way the Iconics have. So I just want to see more of it. Like, I love them as chicken shit champions because they're just so funny to watch.
Yeah.
And, just more Iconics all the time, please and thank.
Adding to that, though, we'll keep the female tag teams going. We saw once again Asuka, because we know that coming at Backlash, we're going to have Asuka versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. Once again, here we see Nia Jax take on Kairi Sane, and once again, fucking injure. Like, so kayfabe away, second time in probably 3 weeks, not even a month, that Kairi Sane has been injured at the hands of Nia Jax. The first one being a couple of weeks ago with a I almost said bucket bong there, with a buckle bomb, which was thrown short, causing Kairi pretty much head to get caught between the bottom buckle and the mat. Not good. Yeah. I think she got a concussion out of it. And then additionally today, it looks like she fell, but it's a situation of how Nia was holding her head down. She wasn't able to regain her balance. She threw her into the steps, but because of the way her momentum was, because she was held down, she wasn't able to get her arms up in time. Collected her head, big gash. It's not looking good. Not looking good.
No. We've said it so many times. Nia needs to go back to fucking performance and stay there. Like, she clearly can't wrestle without injuring somebody. She needs to pull her fucking head in. She needs some more training.
Yeah. So Noob in the chat mentions Nia Jax wants to prove to Ronda that she's more dangerous in the ring. Well, all she's really doing is improving her hypocrisy to Ronda. So an example, like X amount of weeks ago, a month or so ago, she made the comment around that how Ronda injured Alexa in a match. All Nia Jax has done is injure people in matches. Like her even quote unquote big claim to fame is when she got involved in the Becky Lynch storyline by accidentally breaking her face. It is absolutely disgusting and a literal danger to all the women involved in having Nia Jax be involved. Regardless of her fucking legacy, there is no reason that she should be in this position where she is being an unsafe worker, period. Now, it's a situation... Dash in the chat mentioned that she should be released. I don't think right now, during this whole pandemic, it's probably the right time to release her under these conditions. But, like, the Performance Center's there. Put her there. Get her off TV. Hopefully, at Backlash, they can take her away.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jem. In my rant, I may have cut you off a little bit. What were we saying?
No. Look, I'm on the same page. Nia Jax just needs to, like... RHS, man, she's a liability. Like, she's going to cost that company so much money if she's allowed to keep going the way she's going. It's not okay. She clearly needs a little bit more work. We know Kyrie can be a bit klutzy, but there's no excuse for it. Nia is prone to injuring others. Like, just fuck her off, please.
And it's just weird. Like, I understand there are some wrestlers that work stiff, and that's fine because it kind of, if they can go for it. But when you've got someone that not like they're working stiff, but they know what they are doing, and that is the big difference here. That by that working they're working harder to sell that point, but both parties are aware of it. So like there aren't these damages and injuries that aren't consensual. Like once again, that original buckle bomb, that was Nia Jax not understanding the distance that she needed to be. So, and you can, as if you watch the recording again, you can hear Kyrie yelling at Nia, it's anecdotal, but you can hear what sounds like "I'm not ready," and then she still proceeds to throw her.
Yeah.
And I understand that Nia Jax is trying to be that unstoppable force, that big brute of a woman. So she's, doing that stiff behavior, but she's not delivering it in remotely a safe way. I'm fucking sick of seeing her personally. And I'm sick of seeing her just injuring people.
Especially somebody like Kyrie Sane, who's like a quarter of her size. Yeah, she's so tiny. So yeah, it's, it definitely needs some work.
No.
Definitely.
Get her
let's move on from
the fuck off my screen.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to transition to what we transition to.
Exactly.
Let's transition. Speaking of someone I want to get the fuck off my screen, MVP. But what do you want to jump about that first?
We did also get a little backstage interview of Asuka babbling about the whole Charlotte Flair thing, because I think next week she'll be facing Charlotte on Raw in a champion.
That is correct. Correct, yes. I thought it was this week, but I think it's next week now.
Next week, yep. Or was it this week? I swear they said next week. I think it's the week before.
I think it was originally intended for this week, but it might be next week now.
Yeah. So MVP, I agree entirely. So obviously he has a bit of a confrontation backstage with Lana. She's obviously yelling and screaming about Bobby Lashley being her husband, and MVP basically taking her spot in his management position and whatever. He says something she doesn't like. She gives him a big old slap. And he ends up he's in a match later tonight because last week he came out with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, and so previously this we've had a couple of weeks away. So it looks as if they've built out, they've combined a sort of working relationship between Bobby Lashley and MVP, which Lana's been having old tanties about.
Oh yeah, big old tanties. Yeah. So when MVP does come out for that match, which Bobby Lashley comes out first, then MVP follows, and then Lana comes out. And I was like, oh, she's stirring the pot. And then obviously MVP is versing Drew McIntyre. Not a bad match. I didn't really pay attention because I don't care too much about MVP. But
Because here, this is all essentially build up heading into Backlash for Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. That's all this is. So let's talk about that, Jim.
Yes.
Is this something you want to see?
Not particularly. But at the same time, I kind of do. I think I want to see the match itself just because they are such evenly matched competitors. But as far as like storyline and Lana and stuff like that, I just don't care. Like, just give me the match and let's move on.
Yeah, because like it's this weird situation where like for the longest time I've poo-pooed Bobby Lashley. I've not really enjoyed what he can do or what he has done. But I think that's because he's not been really given the opportunity either. And I think
I've seen him a time, so I know what he's capable of.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, that's probably different things. Like, but you know, since his return, he hasn't had a title. You know, he's just kind of been there. He's been a lot of henchman work. He got stuck in. You know, he's still kind of stuck in that weird Rusev Lana storyline. He was in 3-Man Bland with, you know, Corbin and Drew McIntyre back in the day. So I understand in terms of if we want to talk...
Yeah,
so if we want to talk about good, you know, sort of semi-long storytelling or at least using history, that's 100% right there. Like, they're pulling from, you know, stuff from about 2 years ago, not even. You know, it's just sort of all coming together, which I really like because, like, they're referring to back then. But I also don't see Drew losing anytime soon, and I don't think, and even if it was, I don't think Bobby Lashley's the one to take it.
Yeah, exactly right. I think it's just a bit of a filler match. It's a bit of fun. It'll be good to see, but yeah, I don't see it going further than Backlash.
Yeah, speaking of Backlash, though, what the big promotional piece here, Jem, is the greatest wrestling match ever. It is Daddy Orton versus Edge in a straight-up wrestling match, no stipulations, no nothing. During this week's episode, they did have Shawn Michaels come out with more hair on his face than his actual head. And essentially putting over the match. Claiming
and then we did have I was going to say, and then we did have some promos from Edge and Randy as well.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, so like for me, it's like, okay, because it's just Shawn Michaels is looking rough. He's all like cross-eyed and shit now. He's just looking rough. He's looking haggard. It's not good. Pardon?
He's a busy man, though. He basically runs NXT as well.
That's true. It's very, very true. But it's just that it's a jarring thing to look at. I'm like, oh, man. All right, cool. But yeah, so he's there. He's essentially puts over Edge. He believes that the win will come at the hands of Edge.
I think so too.
So Dash in the chat because it's a terrible name for a match, which is true because I think that's going to live up to it does imply these expectations of what this match is going to be, and it's interesting that this is the selling point match between the two because there are, in terms of storylines, like we know no titles are really going to change hands. Sorry, it's kind of, you really caught me off guard. Especially the likes of like the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship, they're not changing hands, so they might as well focus on a more story-based additional match here.
Yeah, exactly right.
Having seen a lot of Edge and a lot of Randy, Jem, do you think this could be the greatest match?
I don't know. I think they're talking it up to be something more than it's actually going to be. I'll be surprised if they surprise me.
Like you're willing to take the surprise?
I'll take the surprise, but I really don't have that high hopes for it if it's just a straight up wrestling match. Like, come on now. It's really not a good selling point. Like, the feud is the selling point, not the actual match itself. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm unsure whether I'm excited about it or how I really feel about it. I guess we'll wait and see.
I'm really conflicted. Hey.
Yeah, that's all right. But one thing that, speaking of confliction, Rey Mysterio is feeling pretty conflicted these days as he had his eye gouged out by a fucking step.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah.
So, earlier in the night, which we'll talk to later, at the start of the night, Seth Rollins has a retirement ceremony for Rey Mysterio. Basically like saying that Rey martyred himself and he was a sacrifice to a greater good and whatnot. And Rey just comes on to talk about that. And obviously like Samoa Joe and the other guys, like is it Vic Joseph and
Tom Phillips.
that's it. They're pressing. They're like, "Are you retiring? Is this an actual retirement?" And Rey Mysterio is like, "I'm not going to comment on that yet." Dominic comes in and Dominic loses his mind. Rey's trying to tell him to calm down. He's like, "No, I won't calm down. This is bullshit." And yeah, he has something to say, and Rey doesn't give his answer. And honestly, I think Dominic is coming.
You think this is it?
I think this is
We've
finally
been looking at this
it.
for a little while. Like it's this. Dominic has sort of been making his presence known for a little bit of time. I think this even comes back to the Brock Lesnar Rey Mysterio feud earlier this year. Like there's a bit of build up here.
Yeah, so I definitely see, like, I'm hoping Dominic's coming because I kind of want to see what he's capable of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But there is no official resignation from Rey Mysterio at this point.
Or retirement, yeah.
Yeah. No official retirement announcement. Yeah.
Yeah. So as we said prior to the show, like we both got sort of worked into this because neither you or I watched the show live. So we just see this like, hey, splash screen, Rey Mysterio retirement. And we're both like, whoa, what the fuck? Because it's just like, the idea of like, well, I guess if they want to write somebody out, like have him lose an eye hole to a stare, you know. So
yeah, exactly.
We're like, oh, we both got worked for a little bit, which is fine. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. It just keeps us on their toes.
That's right. Like I said, I love this shit. I don't mind being worked a little bit. I don't like being a bit of mark. It's fine.
Yeah, but this all comes at the hands of Seth Rollins, who did open the show, obviously, with the ceremony, saying everything that I did say before. He has his disciples with him, Murphy and Austin Theory. And, he just has a big old babble. And as he's talking, Aleister Black comes hammering out.
So they were scheduled for a match?
Yep, so they were scheduled for a match. And Aleister Black obviously attacks earlier. As a result of what had happened the week previous, I believe Aleister Black was in a match. There was a tag team match with Humberto Carrillo.
Correct.
And Aleister Black had done something. He was going to attack Seth or something, and Seth's like, "Don't do it, or he loses an eye." And like Murphy and Austin Theory are like holding Humberto at the friggin' step, like they're going to take his eye out. And I was like, "Holy shit! Like this is intense." So yeah, he talks about all of that sort of stuff, and yeah, they end up going into the match after the retirement ceremony, and obviously Theory and Murphy try to get involved. And Humberto comes out with a steel chair to try and stop him. And yeah, honestly, it was a great match. Like, it was a really damn good match.
I really enjoyed the match personally, but I'm also a big sucker for both Aleister Black and Seth Rollins, so I going in a little biased, I'll admit.
Yeah, exactly it. But it's really interesting, and I'm excited to see where it comes from.
Well, let's talk about where it's from and where it's going. So this is kind of really doubling down on Seth Rollins with the whole Monday Night Messiah gimmick, especially coming off the back of the Money in the Bank match where he did have that loss to Drew McIntyre, which has pushed him into this different path rather than being a sort of, you know, a man of clarity, sort of this Messiah of like, you know, violence, but like just like, hey, you know, it's forgiving, and like being that very like woke Jared Leto-esque visual person, where now he's turned that into a more vicious Messiah.
Yeah,
sort of like threats of violence.
It's really cool. But yeah, Austin Theory and that try to get involved again. Humberto stops them, and Aleister, I'm pretty sure, nabs the win. Let me just double check. Black gets the pin after Humberto gets taken out for trying to help. And then, they all just attack Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo, and they both cop stomps from Seth Rollins, and that's the end of that.
So I'm still personally really enjoying where they're going with Seth Rollins and the Messiah. Like, I know some of it's a little bit hokey, but that's kind of what I'm enjoying about it. And I think having the team grow with Buddy, which we knew about, and the addition of Austin Theory in the last couple of weeks, it is kind of fleshing it out, especially with the AOP away, because I believe one of them is injured. So it's just kind of, you have to fill that team back out. Now, Jem, fun little bit of fantasy theory booking here. You know, what if Dominic does come in on the back of this and then ends up becoming converted and ends up becoming a disciple of Monday Night Messiah?
That's interesting.
And he's like, every good stable needs like that new blood, right?
I'd watch that.
I'd watch the shit out of that. And then we might even see like, you know, Rey versus Dominic.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of like, you know, trying to pull him out of this cult. Like, there's a good storyline right there. Like, my son is stuck in a cult. How do I get him out of this cult?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
Crazy.
Dash in the chat says Seth Rollins equals Far Cry 5 DLC. Pretty much.
Exactly.
Looks like Joseph Seed.
That's it, Joseph Seed. But yeah, that's all that happened on Raw, I believe.
Yeah, that's Monday Night RAW. What do you think of it this week, Jem?
Again, I thought it was really good. It wasn't the best thing, but it wasn't horrible either. The crowd just really makes it. There's a lot going on with storylines and stuff like that. And I'd say it's the same. Like, it was a really consistent week, and I'd call it a curtain bar.
I'm in the same boat. Like, it's curtain bar for me as well. I don't know what it is this week. I really enjoyed both episodes. After sort of, like, fluffing about the last couple of weeks, I'm like, yeah. Like I said, I normally watch it here at the desk in the studio, and I'm normally painting minis at the same time, just kind of like doing two things at once. But I found myself sort of like sitting there like this, like brush in hand, mini in the other, and then like really getting drawn into the show. I'm like, oh yeah, hang on, there's paint on my brush. I mean, like, which is good, because normally I'm just like listening and sort of from like my peripherals, but like it's cool to be drawn back into it again, which is nice. Yeah.
Exactly. Whatever they're doing, they need to keep this up, because I really enjoyed it.
That's true. It is very, very good. Speaking of very, very good, our good friend of the show who comes in with all the hotness, all the goss, Dirt Sheet Dash. He brings us for the first time in quite a while an updated Dirt Sheet. So as the name suggests, Dash goes out and about into the internet, the wrestling Twitter sphere, and then collects us all the goss, all the things that you need to know heading into this. And wait, where's Jim going?
I'm back.
Oh, wait, where'd you run off to?
Sorry, I just had to grab something quickly.
Oh, that's fine. All right, let's have a quick look at. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bits of dirt sheet here. Kicking off number 1, former TNA stars returning to company after mass releases. At the end of this week's Impact Wrestling episode, a commercial aired for the upcoming Slammiversary pay-per-view on July 18. The commercial spoofed the recent WWE releases and the SmackDown mystery hacker. The following people were shown in the commercial, and then you can make the assumption that they are involved with Impact. Eric Young.
Who? Oh, wow.
Rockstar Spud. EC3. The Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. And the Kanellises, Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett. So that is a big pickup for Impact. They've picked up, like 6 people there. That's absolutely insane.
That's awesome. I'm so excited for that. Hell yeah.
That's a huge collection. Now, I don't watch Impact. There's really not many people that do, but I think this might be enough. Like, there's a lot of big names here.
Yeah. Exactly right. I don't know. I'm really excited, because isn't like RVD on Impact and stuff still?
Yeah, RVD's still on there, like, in hot tubs, smooching on babes, being gross.
Yeah, there's like so many good superstars on there. It's just, nobody's a drawing card anymore. And I think with the likes of the Good Brothers and EC3 and the Kanellises, I really think like that makes me want to watch, especially for the Good Brothers. I reckon they would be freaking amazing on Impact. So
and Dash also adds these are names that were the foundation of Impact. So there you go. That's something I didn't know as well. So it's like it's bringing some of the OGs in, and hopefully sort of help usher in a bit more love for Impact, which would be great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mike and Maria met on Impact. Hey.
Yeah. So before we jump into because all the next bit of news are WWE related, I want to jump on an AEW story that just I saw yesterday. It's not in the sheet, but it is there. So it is since. So AEW have made the announcement that, understandably, Hulk Hogan and his partner, his wife, have both been banned completely from any AEW event, which makes sense because Hulk Hogan is under contract and wouldn't be allowed there anyway. But in short, his wife made a bunch of racist comments in regards to the current Black Lives Matter movement, and Tony Khan was just like, "Nah, fuck you." And ex-wife, sorry, says Dash. Essentially goes, "Nah, fuck you both." And then, because as we know, like Hulk Hogan has his history around that space. So,
you're right.
I was very happy seeing them. I'm like, Tony, you're fucking champion. You.
Yeah, great. Fuck yeah, that's publicize that shit. Fucking out racist.
As we know, like it's well documented my disdain for Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, exactly right. Doesn't matter how good of a wrestler is. Like, if you're a racist, you're a piece of shit.
That's correct.
Just deal with that.
Adding on to what we talked about Nia Jax before, in a bit of story titled "Nia Jax is still stupid as fuck." As previously noted, Kairi Sane suffered a cut during her match against Nia Jax during this match that was aired on WWE Raw. The spot occurred when Sane went headfirst into the steel steps, as we discussed earlier. Brian Alvarez of Figure 4 Wrestling Online read a text from WWE Source regarding the incident. Quote, 1,000% Nia's fault. She needs to be fucking fired. She is dangerous. Fire her before she cripples or kills somebody. There are reportedly others at WWE that feel the same about Jax. Dude, what I love about this is because I, once again, am very vocal about my dislike for both Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer.
When
I cannot agree with him anymore here.
Yeah. When they're right, they're fucking right, those guys.
So normally they have this weird, the big AEW bias that I see. But like, here, like, there's actually a snippet. If you go to the Figure 4 Wrestling Online YouTube, they do pull this like a 4 or 5 minute clip, and I completely agree with him. It's absolutely he's spot the fuck on. It is disgusting, and we've already ranted about that enough. So I'm glad it's not elsewhere, and it's interesting to hear that there are sources within WWE that sort of they're on that sort of same page, and there seems to be some sort of behind the scenes discussion around it.
Yeah, exactly right. Especially because if she's going to kill somebody, it's likely going to be poor Kairi Sane.
Yeah, pretty much. Moving on. Kurt Angle has since turned down a WWE role. In an interview with SI.com, Kurt Angle explained why he turned down a recent job offer from the WWE. Quote, WWE offered me a job to manage Matt Riddle.
Oh, that would have been amazing!
Unfortunately, I turned it down. I have so much going on with my business, Physically Fit Nutrition, and I need to make sure it succeeds before I do anything else. It was almost a blessing in disguise that WWE released me. The business started picking up orders, and we're at a point where I really need to be here, end quote. Angle also addressed the possibility of one more match. Quote, right now, I can't. Could my mind be changed? Yes, for 2 reasons. I'm working on my business and I've been doing a lot of rehab on my body, trying to get myself back to where I'm able to live a healthy lifestyle. I've been so banged up, my neck, my freaking neck, my back, and my neck, but I'm making improvements.
Yay, that's good to hear. I'm glad that he's on the mend.
I personally hope we never get another match from him, mostly because I think... it's that weird thing of no one's ever really retired anymore. But the match against Baron Corbin, but he's done skis. He will never be forgotten from our hearts, dear listener.
No,
he stays here. He is our rating system. He is the face. He is the beautiful spokesman of the young and the wrestlers.
And he doesn't suck.
He does not suck. Fucking love him. And finally... Sonya Deville to be added into a gay storyline. This seems like something that'll be
Finally!
forever. In a recent interview, Sonya Deville fueled speculation that WWE may dabble in a lesbian storyline between Sonya and Mandy. Quote, I think anything's possible, especially this year. I don't rule it out at all. Like I've said in the past, inclusion is important in every aspect of life, including sports entertainment. And I think that the company would agree on that. I think it's definitely a possibility this year.
Yeah. Well, she's already, she's the WWE's first openly gay superstar, which is exciting. Not just that, obviously I watch a lot of Total Divas and stuff like that, and leading up to WrestleMania last year, they had been greenlit for this. They had gotten approval to make this happen, and then it got pulled out from under them really fucking quickly. So to see that it's finally making the rounds and it's finally happening is amazing. And we've just started this month. We're 3 days in at time of recording right now. So I would love to see it happen this month specifically because it is Pride Month. I would like to see before the end of the month something happen with that.
Plus, I love the idea that she's having these Amanda's having these sort of pre-sex dreams about Otis, and then it kind of shifts to nah, and then she sees a tongue bash Sonya.
Yeah, Sonya. Yeah. That would be
because it'd be a great way to sort of bring it in, in terms of using these sort of dream ideas, right? Dash goes, I love how the Dirt Sheet segment calls of Jem to file her nails every episode.
Oh, look, I'm having a bit of a lot's going on, and
it's calming and it locks you down.
Yeah. Auditory, I'm fine, but visually, I need to be doing something.
Yeah.
So I can hear, I can understand, and I'm involved in the conversation. It's just that.
Well, it's like how you always see me fiddle with the remote or my drink bottle lid. It's just sort of, I need that in order to lock my attention down.
Yeah, so I'm in a bit of a weird headspace. I'll explain to you later, Dash. But yeah, I visually I'm struggling with my eyes a lot lately, especially with the big bright light there. Looking at the screen and the white wall is just a bit harsh. So looking down, it's a bit darker. And I can't just stare at the ground. I need to be occupied. So, yeah. But no, I am here. I am listening. I'm clearly part.
We 100% know you're here, Jem. But that'd be amazing. So they sort of slip, Sonya into these dreams. She's like, ooh, and Otis is all sexy, and then Otis suddenly becomes Sonya for a second. Everyone's like, what? That'd be fantastic.
That would be really cool. Could you imagine? It's 1 minute it's Otis in the pool, and he dives in the water or something.
And
another
comes
pool segment.
Sonya.
It comes out doing the whole. So hot.
That would be awesome. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see that. But anyways,
that's been on the file, and I'm excited that hopefully it will finally come up sooner rather than later.
Crossed. I'd love to see it. I think it would be a great business storytelling, so I'd be super keen. But anyways, that does bring us to the end of the show. Thank you, Jem, for coming back. It feels like we haven't seen each other in a little while. It's been good to finally do the show again. I have missed it as part of my week.
Unfortunately, I won't be here next week due to work commitments, but I will be back the following week, no problem.
That is correct. So Jem will have a week off, so we may have to bring the likes of Dirt Sheet Dash in to join the party, because, we'll keep those keep that trainer going. Let me just do a quick check over here, though. So that would bring us to... So next week would be episode 100.
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
Yeah, so episode 98 this week, last week, sorry. So episode 99 this week, and with big 100 next week.
Oh, no, we'll have to celebrate with the pay-per-view the following week, I guess.
That's right. We'll bring it into that. Because once again, that also includes, we did double up episodes for a couple of weeks there, and that includes pay-per-views, and it's all good.
Yeah. It's the official uploaded.
That's right, because 52 episodes is a good time of 2 years. But once again, it hasn't been because this has been a year and a half because we did 2 episodes a week, whatever. But anyway, This wrestling conversation comes at you every Thursday morning on your podcast services. That's 8 a.m., 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to facebook.com/group/thepopcultures, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are in the down below area. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures. Wednesdays, 8 p.m., where you can get in the show live. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It's exciting. It's damn good time. If you want to support the show, you can by heading over to the likes of, let me think. Your podcast service of choice. Give us a 5-star rating. Tell your friends, tell your family about this little PlayStation, this little wrestling pod. You can also support us financially at patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popcultures.com/shop. But until next week, which will... what we could do, Dash.
Ooh.
I'm just thinking, because we'll also have NXT in your house next week.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Maybe we can do a sneaky NXT review, just for funsies.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm Jem.
See you then.
Good night.
The Young and the Restless, the Pop Cultures WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopcultures. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damian Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.